Good evening, I'm Haley Vilgus.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, the Bradenton Police Department is investigating a double shooting.
According to police, they received a 911 call about the shooting around 11:30 this morning. They arrived at a home on 6th Avenue East to find two male victims. Just minutes ago, police released information about those victims. ABC 7's Bobeth Yates is joining us live with more details. Bobeth.
Now I'm at the scene and tape still blocking off the area as officials continue to investigate this incident. Now what we do know right now is that two children have been transported to the hospital. Now this all began, according to law enforcement, when investigators arrived. They found a stepdad, 36-year-old Joshua Rapola, had gotten into an argument with his 19-year-old son, Rufus Adams. Somehow the argument ensued and that 19-year-old grabbed a weapon. Somehow Rapola managed to get that weapon from Rufus and then in some way shot at and in the process accidentally shooting 12-year-old brother being released. Now Adams has been transported to the hospital, shot in the head and also in critical condition with also a wound in the shoulder, and the 12-year-old victim was shot in the lower body. He is said to be in stable condition. Now law enforcement are continuing to investigate this incident, and neighbors say they're just shocked that this whole thing happened.
Well, I've been here right at 4 years. I never thought nothing to happen like this here. You know, I sit out on my porch late at night and stuff, and early in the morning. I work like 3 days a week, and I just never thought nothing happened like this.
We're pretty sure this is an isolated incident to this residence. Again, the shooting took place inside the house. They're working to establish what happened, why it happened, again, why people were there. That's what we're working on. We do have some witnesses that are cooperating at this time.
All right, again, this is a double shooting here on the 1900 block of 6th Avenue East as law enforcement investigate a shooting. We're told that two children, a 19-year-old and a 12-year-old, shot after an argument with their stepdad. The 19-year-old grabbed the weapon involved in he was transported to the hospital. Updated more details about him. Back to you.
All right, Bobeth Yates reporting. We apologize for the audio difficulties. We'll try to iron those out. Florida Supreme Court ruling against Sarasota County related to indigent care, and it could cost the county up to $300 million. The court ruling today that an obscure law requires the county to reimburse all public and private hospitals for medical care given to poor and uninsured residents. Private for-profit hospitals discovered the law and began submitting bills to Sarasota County, which then refused to pay them. The hospital sued, and a trial court and an appeals court ruled in favor of the county. But the state Supreme Court reversed those decisions and says the law only spells out the geographic area of the county's hospital district and allows any hospital to benefit. In response to the ruling, the county issuing a statement saying in part the case will be remanded to the trial court for discovery and trial if necessary. In an effort to protect taxpayer dollars, the county intends to vigorously defend the lawsuit on a number of grounds.
A 69-year-old man in Sarasota is behind bars after sheriff's deputies say he was trafficking in cocaine. Joseph Balcom was arrested Monday after he was pulled over for a seatbelt violation. During the traffic stop, deputies say they found a locked safe with envelopes of cocaine inside. Marijuana and cash were also found. Balcom is facing charges of trafficking in cocaine and possession.
Memorial services have now been set for the 4 young men killed in a car crash in Englewood last weekend. Troopers say the 4 men from Port Charlotte were killed when the car they were riding in ran a stop sign and smashed into an SUV. The car then caught fire and all 4 men were killed. The family in that SUV only had minor injuries. A memorial remembrance for 23-year-old Dustin Strong will take place at 4 p.m. tomorrow at Lemon Bay High School. A similar service will be held at 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon at Lemon Bay High for 21-year-old Austin Hershey. Services are still being set for Keith Williams and Billy Solomon.
If you smell natural gas in the air in downtown Sarasota, it may be the remnants of a gas leak. Sarasota County fire officials say a 2-inch gas line breached during an excavation at a construction site near Orange and Boulevard of the Arts. This was around 3 o'clock this afternoon. About a dozen workers were evacuated from the area while the line was capped. Fire officials say it should be fully fixed at this point. And remember, you can get the latest information on breaking news on the Suncoast by downloading our My Suncoast app. Traffic alerts, important news updates, and weather forecasts will be delivered directly to your phone.
All right, let's get a check on our weather right now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob, not as many storms around tonight.
Yes, we show you right now the shower activity is limited down to our south mainly. There's one lone cell over, again, Highlands County, northern portions of it near Sebring, but not much in Manatee and Sarasota counties at this hour anyway. The air is rather dry in the upper levels, and so when the storms start to build due to the heat and the humidity at the surface, it taps into that drier air and the storms quickly move on, but there's still some pretty big cells down into southeastern portions of Charlotte County right now, and I expect to see the outflow from these. They will generate some isolated showers, especially in the South Sarasota County over the upcoming hour or so. But near Punta Gorda, near I-75, some rain there. Also, as I mentioned, the storm near Sebring, rather intense, isolated cell. And that's typically what you get when you get these kind of situations where the dry air is around. One or two are able to make it through that dry level and become rather intense storms. So that is not happening currently in the Manatee and Sarasota counties. So looking pretty cool. I should say not cool, but pretty pleasant in terms of sunshine, but not very pleasant in terms of humidity. It feels like 96 degrees right now. The humidity at 57%. We have a west wind at 10. And the pressure is falling ever so slightly, but it's still high. Well, in the tropics, we still have tropical depression number 4. Right now, it's battling some dry air and some shear. It's not looking that impressive right now. And the indications are that it will stay as a tropical depression as it makes its way toward the west-northwest. Well, more in the tropics, and take a look at the weekend coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thank you. The city of Sarasota is struggling to find the right set of codes to maintain its historic landscape while leaving room for new development.
Now they will turn a small group of residents to determine how developers and homeowners will be allowed to remove and replace trees that affect the city's character. ABC 7's Adam Cellini is joining us live from downtown Sarasota with more about this proposed tree advisory board. Adam.
Yeah, Scott and Haley, I'm here downtown in Sarasota, and these ordinances have been at the center of a number of discussions about the city's future. Now, residents want all tree removal rules to center around maintaining the size and canopy that already exists, but when you focus rules around size, things like this can happen underneath the ground with your sidewalks. The city hasn't been able to come up with a solution that appeases both residents and developers, so the two worlds will be meeting on this new 7-person advisory board.
I think that the trees need a voice.
In the Sarasota office of Tammy Kovar's company Biological Tree Services, you'll find 2 binders, one for Sarasota tree ordinances and one for every other city and county.
The city of Sarasota is pretty well known for its extensive library of code.
But that library still has no answer that appeases residents who feel the code is too light on tree removal and builders who often feel the code is too strict.
Every tree is different, and every location of every tree is different, and there are a lot of factors to consider when you're looking at a piece of a property where you have different trees throughout the property.
That's why the city is putting together a team of locals to revamp those rules. Currently, they require contractors maintain tree numbers by either replacing them to a similar size or moving trees from one property to another.
It's not something you can just go in and chop down and expect it to pop right back up.
Alice Sundstrom lives in Laurel Park, where a historic home was demolished last year because moving it meant removing 3 trees along the road. She appreciates the character that mature trees can provide, but understands they can sometimes be a problem.
There needs to be some flexibility built into this new code or ordinance that they're going to be having, while still making sure that they maintain the canopy and the beauty of the neighborhood.
This new board will be made up of neighborhood leaders like Sundstrom, 2 developers, a resident, a business owner, and an arborist that can hopefully make everyone's life a little easier.
We don't want to have to fight every time a tree's taken down.
Now, commissioners will have an opportunity to accept a final resolution on creating this board later this month, and then locals will be able to apply for those 7 positions. The commissioners will get the ultimate say on who ends up on that board, and they're hoping to make that decision by August. Live in downtown Sarasota, I'm Adam Cellini. Scott and Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Adam. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now. And unfortunately, Richard, a lot of down arrows on Wall Street today.
Haley, you're exactly right. Down arrows all across the board. It didn't matter if you own pharmaceutical stocks, bank stocks, whatever the case may be. There was selling straight from the opening bell. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down by 173 points at the low of the day. We didn't finish that low, but we hardly finished with a good gain. And in fact, both the Standard & Poor's 500 index and the NASDAQ closed at the lowest levels we've seen since May. Think about that. Let's take a look at the figures, and they are not very attractive. There you see the Dow Jones Industrial Average down by 158 points, 0.75% at 21,320.04 on volume of 687 million shares. The NASDAQ down exactly 1%, more than 61 points at 6,089.46. That on volume of 1,708 million shares. And of course, if those two are down, there's the S&P, almost 1%, down 23 points at 2,409.75. Well, it's been a tough 30 days for Costco. The stock has been down by 13%, primarily because of Amazon's bid to buy Whole Foods and people trying to figure out exactly what impact that would have on Costco. Well, the answer is not too good, but surprisingly, Costco today announced their same-store sales for the month of June were up by 5%, and their same-store sales for the first 6 months of the year were up by 6%. Both of those figures were better than anyone had been looking for. Now, we'll have to remember Costco has more than 725 stores. More than 500 of them are in the United States of America, and one of them is very close by.
And it's always crowded when I go there, that's for sure.
I agree.
Yeah. And you also have some news on Microsoft today, Richard.
Yeah, not very good news, unfortunately. The company has acknowledged it will be cutting, quote, thousands of jobs, unquote, without giving a specific number. They did say they'll be primarily in the area of sales and primarily outside of the United States.
All right. Richard, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, President Trump returns to the world stage for a meeting with some of the biggest power players. The controversial topics on the list for this year's G20 summit.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, a warning about mom's sweet tooth, why expectant mothers may want to limit how much sugar they have in Health Smart.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. back. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction Hope and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Tonight, President Trump is overseas preparing for the G20 summit.
The president is in Germany. The G20 brings together some of the world's biggest power players, and President Trump is expected to clash with many of them on key issues like trade and climate change. ABC's Maggie Rulli is in Washington with more.
Using tear gas and water cannons, German police battle thousands of protesters demonstrating against capitalism outside the G20 summit. As President Trump touches down in Hamburg, he's greeted with a formal handshake from German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Just hours earlier, Merkel took what sounded like an indirect dig at President Trump, saying in globalization, there must not always be losers where there are winners.
Das ist eine Win-Win-Situation.
At almost the same time, President Trump had a subtle slight of his own against Germany.
The West became great, not because of paperwork and regulations, but because people were allowed to chase their dreams.
The two don't see eye to eye on trade issues or climate change, both major topics at this year's G20. Also high on the list, North Korea.
It's a threat, and we will confront it very strongly.
And Russia. On Friday, President Trump sits down with Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time. But today, he avoided placing the blame for last year's election hack solely on Russia.
I think it could very well have been Russia, but I think it could well have been other countries.
But 17 U.S. intelligence agencies have concluded that Russia meddled in the 2016 election, trying to help then-candidate Trump. The president's having dinner with the leaders of South Korea and Japan tonight, but again, all eyes are on that big meeting with Putin happening tomorrow. We're told the president is preparing by reviewing briefing books on U.S.-Russian relations. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Washington.
All right. Sure was hot today.
Oh, yeah.
Man, oh, man.
Very.
Yeah, hot, hazy, and humid. Temperatures, heat feels like about 100, not as hot as it can be at times. You know, that's usually in August. We'll get that.
Right.
And you'll say, yeah, it was really hot today. But, and we're not looking at many afternoon showers to cool us down either. There's some big cells down to our south. A little bit more moisture trapped in down there, but some dry air has moved in, and that happens occasionally. As that dry air has moved in, it kind of shuts down most of the activity, but as expected, one or two areas start to really jam up, and we can see that happening right now into Charlotte County. You can see that sea breeze has developed, and the east coast wind has come in the Punta Gorda area, getting some very heavy rainfall right now. Frequent lightning strikes down into Charlotte County. That's where it is. The outflow from this will generate one or two showers into Sarasota County here in the next hour or so. This one is moving off to the west right now over Sebring. Not nearly as much activity as we saw yesterday, which brought some severe weather to Tampa, and also some small pea-sized hail to Bayshore Gardens last evening. Now, for us, it's quiet in Manatee. Sarasota, you look pretty good right now. If you have anything planned, looks like any kind of walk or any kind of run, or maybe on a bike or tennis, golf, it doesn't matter. Looks to be pretty good, although it is hot, so drink plenty of water out there. 96, that's what it feels like right now. The actual temperature at 89, and the humidity 57%. We have a west wind at 10, and the pressure 30.08 inches. Well, a tropical update now. We're taking a look at what's happening as far as the tropics go, and this is a system. We'll keep an eye on it. It's not very well organized at this point. In fact, it's just basically a swirl of clouds here with not much deep convection. It's battling some very dry air out ahead of it, and with that in mind, and also some strong shear, about 300 miles to the west of it. It's not going to have much of a chance of developing into much. We'll talk more about that in a little bit later. But for us, so you can see, pretty sunny across the state with the exception of the southern portion at this point as high pressure continues to dominate our weather with that southeasterly flow. And it appears that we are not going to see any big changes to our weather in terms of Friday. But then by Saturday, we'll start to see a better chance for some showers and storms moving on in as a result of return of some tropical moisture headed our way on that particular day. Now, as far as the latest goes, we are continuing to watch the high pressure ridge build in from the east, and you can see the close-up of Punta Gorda. You can see that heavy weather now moving through just south of Punta Gorda. Look at this here. This is two sea breezes meeting right there, and nothing happening right now, but I suspect we'll see a shower or two popping up into central Sarasota County and near Northport, but nothing going on near Osprey up to Sarasota at this time. Get a look at the water vapor. The system I talked about, tropical depression number 4, having a tough go of it because all this dry air out ahead of it. It's kind of feeding into the system as it's moving to the west-northwest at 17. And then this is a big trough in the jet stream here, and this is also creating hostile environment for this to develop and strengthen into anything significant. So it may not graduate to tropical storm status over the next 5 days. We'll keep an eye on it for you. But as far as we're concerned, things staying fairly quiet here. Your evening planner looks like this. Generally, partly cloudy skies right up until 11 o'clock, 81 degrees, so it will stay warm. And it'll stay kind of muggy throughout the evening. Currently at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, we have some sunshine, 89 degrees, heat index at 96. The dew point is at 72, and winds are out of the west at 10. Here's the marine forecast for us. Southeast winds turn to the southwest. Again, tomorrow, same situation. The light chop of the bays and inland waters. Tides on your screen, 6:44 for the next low tide. And the extended forecast does call for better chances for showers and storms entering into the picture on the weekend, and it stays fairly typical through all of next week. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. In Suncoast Traffic Watch right now. Look at this, I-75 moving smoothly. All green on the map, both north and southbound. Good to see. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, experiences during infancy can have lasting effects on the level of inflammation in our bodies decades later. Researchers at Northwestern University found that nutritional, microbial, and psychosocial exposures early in development predict gene expression years later in 9 genes involved in the regulation of inflammation. Some things that have an effect on this include duration of breastfeeding, exposure to certain microbes, and socioeconomic situations, including parental interaction. The study authors say this proves our health destinies are not fixed based on DNA at birth. Women who have a lot of sugar during pregnancy may be increasing their child's risk of allergies and asthma. Researchers from Queen Mary University of London used data gathered from nearly 9,000 mother-child pairs. The children of women with the highest sugar intake during pregnancy had a 38% higher risk of allergy diagnosis, and the risk of developing allergic asthma was double that of kids born to women who consumed the least sugar. Researchers say much more research is needed to understand if this is a causal link, but reducing added sugar, of course, is always a healthy move. Coming up, a startling morning for people in Montana, the damage an earthquake caused throughout the state, plus an explosive kickoff to an annual tradition in Spain, the start of the Running of the Bulls Fiesta. That's straight ahead.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Some scary moments in western Montana earlier today. This was a scene at a store in the town of Lincoln during the 5.8 magnitude earthquake early this morning. The U.S. Geological Survey says it was centered about 7 miles from Lincoln and 33 miles from the state capital of Helena. The quake was reportedly felt as far away as Seattle. The tremor was followed by several aftershocks clustered near Lincoln. There are no reports, though, of injuries or serious damage. A fire in Washington state damages 2 large homes and sends towering flames and a big plume of smoke into the air. That fire broke out on Whidbey Island early this morning. Once firefighters arrived, one home was already fully involved, and the flames soon spread to a second large home right next door. Both homes sit right next to a golf and country club. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the cause of the fires still unknown.
A traditional firework rocket launch kicked off the famous Running of the Bulls Festival in Pamplona, Spain today. The firework was launched from the town hall balcony in front of thousands of people packed into the square below. As you can tell, the crowd dressed in red and white started spraying each other with wine. The street party comes a day before the first of 8 morning bull runs, where daredevils test their speed and bravery by racing fighting bulls down the street to the bull ring.
And sometimes the bulls win.
Sometimes you can get trampled. I think this is a bucket list item for a lot of people. A lot of people who are brave. Or crazy. I don't know, one of the two. Still to come on your Suncoast News, an effort to repair an almost 100-year-old brick road in Sarasota. Why some homeowners are frustrated with the deterioration.
Plus, a new lawsuit over medical marijuana. Why an Orlando attorney is suing the state over a new law that just went into effect.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Just go do it. Go do it. If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G-Freed has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G-Freed Flooring America. G-Freed Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
We are celebrating Linda Carson's 79th birthday. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Her daughter joins us to dish out some family fun, and Linda's Irish eyes will be smiling as we help send her off on her trip to Ireland with some professional travel tips. The Ritz-Carlton stops by with some summer spa deals we can all enjoy, and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.